Hello everyone, I'm Daising. I'm very happy to see you all again. In the more than 10 years of researching numbers phenomena, we have experienced many completely different life processes. This is because the information presented by numerical phenomena reflects the information from each stage of your life. Now, illness has always been an aspect of life that we cannot ignore. Last year, I had a friend his mother developed a very serious illness, lymphoma, and by the time it was discovered, it was already in the late stage. In fact, 4 or 5 years earlier, I had already noticed certain numerical phenomenon information reflected by his mother, and I had reminded him about it, as well as warned his mother about her lifestyle habits. This included her eating habits and the long-term negative emotion she harbored, which actually had a very powerful negative impact on her body. Because when illness arises in our lives, it doesn't just fall from the sky, it accumulates bit by bit over time. The problem is that we have always lacked the means to explore the channels through which each individual develops illness, so I am unable to precisely know when a particular person will develop certain psychological or physical symptoms. However, the numerical phenomenon information presented by each individual with illness or injury provides us with a channel to understand the comprehensive information of every living being. So, illness is just one aspect, and the reasons for the development of illness in each individual are different. By observing the numerical phenomena of each person, we can clearly see the causes and processes behind the formation of their illnesses. In fact, this friend of mine asked me a question, and this question left a deep impression on me. He said that his mother had always been very passionate about sports and also enjoyed participating in all kinds of gatherings. He wondered how someone so lively and energetic could suddenly fall ill. He felt that life seemed so unpredictable. Could it really be that impermanent? When illness strikes, is it really a force that we are powerless to resist? So today, let's discuss the phenomenon of numbers. What role does the information present in each individual life play when it comes to disease? As we just mentioned, for illness doesn't just fall from the sky, rather it quietly takes root in our lives over time. Every choice we make about what we eat, as well as our chaotic daily routines, all silently have various effects on our physiological balance. This also includes the mindset or emotions we develop when facing different environments and situations. In fact, these factors are constantly involved in regulating our bodies. Maybe you've already forgotten about a time you lost your temper, or perhaps you once had a habit of smoking or other unhealthy behaviors. These are all recorded in our numerical information patterns. In our lives, they have a very long-term and far-reaching impact. Of course, it's not that our numerical phenomena themselves affecting us, but rather that it's the various emotions we experience over time, as well as the pressures formed by our work environment and daily life that shape these patterns. All these little details together shape the various factors in our lives that lead to the development of diseases. So, illness does not arise from a single or uniform cause. If we use, for example, some universal treatment methods or approaches, they actually cannot achieve a personalized effect for each individual's illness. At the same time, because we currently lack a clear channel of information about the causes of diseases in individuals, we really have no way. Why is it that we can't? There's no way to constantly monitor and observe every moment of an individual's life. How is their diet? Did they lose their temper again today? What kind of pressure is their work putting on them? What is their relationship with their colleagues like? Are they stuck in a long-term state of depression because of these interactions? We simply cannot keep track of all these things at every moment. We can't pay attention to every individual person, and all these factors for each person are completely different. So precisely because we lack a way to obtain comprehensive, real-time information about each individual, it becomes very difficult for us to tailor factors or solutions without a personalized and precise understanding. So, the study of numerical phenomena actually provides a highly personalized solution to these problems. This is something we have gradually discovered and come to understand over the years of our research. Every time we study information related to numerical phenomena, we are amazed by the immense and abundant value this information can bring us, because the information about individuals contained in numerical phenomena includes not only our external information but also our internal information, and it is an extremely rich and intricate network of information. At the same time, within the numerical phenomena information of each individual, there also exist profound causal relationships. For example, if you habitually eat salty, oily, or fried foods, generally unhealthy foods, if you have such dietary preferences, then in your numerical phenomenon information, there must be such a dietary preference within your numeric information. At the same time, it will not only present our dietary preferences, but also present the premise of such dietary preferences. What kind of result it will produce? It is a multifaceted result that it's not just about a single aspect, for example, not just about information related to the gut, but rather it's the result of information being presented from various levels within the body. At the same time, this dietary pattern will also further influence, for instance, our choices regarding living environments. For example, if you prefer to eat foods that are relatively greasy or have a stronger flavor, then your home environment, the dining environment you choose, and the places where you eat will also be reflected in our numerical phenomenon information. So when we observe numerical phenomenon information, you'll find that it is a very multi-layered set of information, offering a comprehensive perspective to observe each living individual. Among this information, what we call internal information is extremely rich, including things like each person's cognition, thinking, emotions, as well as your mindset, your feelings, religious beliefs, and your personal interests and preferences. And at the same time, there are also outward manifestations of certain personality traits and abilities, such as what kind of industry you will work in and what kind of development you might have within that industry. All kinds of information are embedded within the numerical phenomena of each individual. For example, let's say we look at a living individual's dietary preferences, such as their taste in food, or texture preferences, including their preference for the temperature of food or the type of food. What does temperature mean here? It refers to whether you like to eat hot or cold food, as well as your eating speed. Whether you eat quickly or slowly, all of this is reflected in our numerical phenomena. When we are able to understand an individual's life in such detailed information, it allows us to further reveal the state of that person's digestive system, endocrine system, immune system, and various other aspects. For example, if we excessively indulge in sweets, it may lead to weight gain and also increase the risk of developing diabetes. Or for instance, some people prefer foods with stronger flavors. The risks of high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke will also continue to increase. Therefore, the level of detail in numerical phenomena helps us achieve personalized health prediction and health management. These are all things that can be accomplished through numerical phenomena. When we are able to gain insight into the inevitable trends in our individual physical and mental health, this information will bring immeasurable value to our current personalized medicine. So why do we say this information is so valuable? Well, no disease ever appears out of nowhere. Every illness is the result of the small details in our daily lives, bit by bit. They are accumulated and formed by all kinds of habits in our daily lives. It's just that we lack the means to observe comprehensive information about each individual life. But since numerical phenomena present us with such detailed information, we can naturally observe the health development trajectory of every individual. When we are faced with illness, we often feel panic or confusion. Why did something like this happen in my life or in the lives of my loved ones? But actually, as we just mentioned, illness is not an accident, nor is it something that happens suddenly out of nowhere. It is shaped and formed by every little factor in our daily lives coming together. However, it's very difficult for us to look back on every single thing we've done in our lives because our memory is limited and our time is limited as well. But numerical phenomena provide us with a way to do this. The information from the numerical phenomena of each individual life records every step and every detail of our entire life process. If we can make better and more comprehensive use of this individual information, or if it's the information presented by group numerical phenomena in our lives, then it will provide an irreplaceable channel of information for personalized medicine, which currently lacks ways to understand the unique characteristics of each individual's life. We should pay more and more attention to the numerical phenomena around us, because the information they present is nothing other than the process of your own life. And not only that, this applies not only on the physical level, but also on the psychological level. For example, what kind of environment causes a person to feel repressed emotions or attitudes, what specific psychological experiences their family environment brings them, and how their interactions with their partner affect their emotions. All of these are actually reflected in the information revealed by our numerical phenomena. Why is that? Because the scope that numerical phenomena information can cover is extremely broad. In each video, we might discuss its functions on different levels, which can also provide everyone with some real opportunities for choice in life throughout our life journey. For example, if we can understand how numerical phenomena reflect each person's mindset, including their behavior, sense of responsibility, and partner selection, if we can understand how responsible someone is toward their partner, then what kind of relationship pattern will his family of origin bring to his future interactions with his partner? At the same time, what kind of plans does he have for his work and his family in the future? What kind of personal abilities does he possess? And what is the development trend of these abilities going forward? Even just in the area of choosing a partner, if you can access such precise information, you can avoid many detours in relationships. In fact, the scope is very broad. It even includes areas like investment, such as what kind of fields you would choose to invest in. So who exactly are you investing in? And after you invest, what kind of results will you achieve together? Actually, all of this is reflected in our study of numerical phenomena. If we delve deeper, you'll find that this information is vast and extensive. Therefore, if we can further refine and apply numerical phenomena, it can play an irreplaceable role in various industries. This is also one of the gifts we've received over the years. When you further explore the information revealed by numerical phenomena, you'll discover that nothing in our lives happens by chance, and no event is truly accidental. In fact, every single thing is reflected in the information of our numerical phenomena. Of course, this doesn't mean that once we understand numerical phenomena, we'll suddenly make rapid progress. Rather, it provides you with a more comprehensive perspective on everything that happens in your life. So, I also hope that in each of our videos, we can offer everyone some new insights and that we can use this relatively short amount of time to discuss some interesting topics. All right, see you next time.